Okay, Leith Anderson here with Bobby Grace, and we've got like one more piece of the technology story that I think until now has really gone untold. Bobby Grace has had a reputation for really being on the leading edge of putter design beyond just insert technology, but also the shape and following this whole concept of increasing the moment of inertia to make that putter more stable through the stroke and impact. And that has been another one of those odysseys that's taken 15 years, 20 years, a long time. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to go through the evolution of putter design with moment of inertia. And I think that even for low index players, you should pay attention to this because you might not be thinking that this putter is for you, but it might be. So here's Bobby Grace. Go for it.
All right, well, what happened with my learning curve of moment of inertia in putters was in the year 1999, the last half of it in 2000, I got my company back from Cobra Golf. Fortune Brands decided to crash Cobra. That's a long story. A good story for me is I got my company back, my name, likeness, patents, trademarks, and I decided at that point in time I wanted to go back in the putter business, especially when I saw the two-ball putter taking off back in the year 2001 or so. I went to a friend of mine who used to work for Raytheon as a CAD engineer, and he had 35,000 hours on Pro Engineer software, and he was so proficient with dancing around that software. He was just enough of a golfer to where he would be getting himself in trouble. But I got in there and we sat together and figured out, we looked at the two-ball putter, we had it analyzed, he did the drawings of it, and when he does the drawings, you can tell what the moment of inertia is, which is a mathematical number of how stable this putter is when it's off-center hit. So this two-ball putter, as you remember, had a deep weighted nugget in the back of the mallet putter. Well, it was poured out of investment cast stainless steel. It was one-piece stainless steel, so it had heavy weights all over the putter, a very heavy weight in the back. Well, I know from making putters for years, you make the body light and you put the weights where you want strategically to increase that sweet spot. That much I knew, but I had never worked on a CAD and I never saw a Pro Engineer at its best. Well, I sat down with my buddy and I asked him, look, I want to have a deep weighted putter. I want to have a mallet of some kind of light frame. Well, I go home, he comes up with 3 renditions that night, sends me an email and says, here's what I came up with, and I looked at this one, was a triangular shape with the nugget in the back of it, so it was very, very rear weighted, and I said, that's it. So knowing that I have found something that would be really effective as a very forgiving mallet, I called a buddy of mine who's a club collector who had everything you can think of in his garage. He had thousands of putters, and he collected putters in sections. So I asked him, I said, have you ever seen a triangular putter with multi-metals, heavy weight in the back and a lightweight frame? And he says, nope. And I said, that's all I need to know. I hung the phone up. We finished this design, and in 2001, we come up with this thing right here called the Amazing Grace. And this one had a very, very heavy nugget, very big, heavy copper weight that slid in the back, and the 2 screws held it in. Well, the 2-ball was 3,645 moment of inertia. The higher the number, the more forgiving the face and stability. This thing was measured as a standard length putter right away with an aluminum frame and a copper weight in the back. This one was 5,845, so it was almost 6,000. When we added 2 tungsten weights in the front to make them a little heavier for certain customers, we weighed them again and checked them out, and the inertia went to 6,400. Well, now we knew we really had something that nobody else did. We had a very good looking mallet putter with an extreme sight line, so you could aim the thing easy, and you had a very high moment of inertia which widened the sweet spot and made it very stable. I immediately took it out to the PGA Tour. that very month that we were finished with this. We put in the HSM face, of course, in the face, and this is the good feeling, good rolling, the whole 9 yards with the rebound that we discussed before. And we got it in Vijay Singh's hand. Vijay Singh became #1 player in the world. He won $10 million in 2006, and he never looked back. And Cleveland Golf could never get this putter out of his hands. So we saw a player become #1 player in the world with this. Bart Bryant, Bart Bryant took the one that when we went with McGregor later on, we kept the same design. This one here, Bart Bryant won the Texas Valero Open, the Murfield tournament, Nicklaus's tournament in Ohio, very prestigious. And he also won the Tour Championship and beat Tiger and everybody in the mid-2000s. So this was, I think, 2007 or so. Again, high MOI putter with a great player. You'd think that it would just be the average player benefiting, but no, this putter actually can help players of all types, all qualities, and certainly anybody 10, 20, 30 handicap is going to benefit from this, from aiming, off-center hitting. It's just going to be a much more consistent putter. Well, so now we still made this putter, and we named it the Greg Chalmers commemorative. Well, Greg Chalmers has used this thing ever since it came out, the left-handed guy on the tour, and he's from Australia, wonderful guy. He wins 2 Australian Opens, he wins an Australian PGA, and he wins an Australian Masters, all with this same putter. This is the same putter, just a little different weighting system and the HSM insert. So it's interesting, moment of inertia, people think for not such good players. Well, I've had some of the best players in the world win with it, and I've had tons and tons of amateur players around the world benefit from these, winning club championships, winning member guests. I get calls and emails all the time. So if you need forgiveness, put a little grace in your short game. All right, and now when we fast forward the clock to today, you'll see this amazing grace putter still here, except it's grown some wings in the back. Well, again, through our CAD work and analyzing what happens to when you change the shape and you put the weights out on the outer extremities, and you see not just are these deep weighting, but you see a lot of the weights are out on the outer extremes. This raises the moment of inertia even wider. And as you see here, the frame of this putter is a little bit smaller than the Amazing Grace. This one here, the main frame without the wings, you see, is larger. So this allowed us to make a little smaller looking putter, but a much more powerful putter. So the moment of inertia on this thing is 7,500, and it's actually smaller than the original Amazing Grace because of the wings. So we figured that out. 5 adjustable weights, so if you want to make it shorter and make it heavier, we've got tungsten interchangeable weights to put them in strategic places. By the way, if you add just 2 tungsten weights to this, put them in the rear. Don't put them in the front. That is the best place for raising the inertia and the solid hit. And this one, of course, we have the face that comes off, so you can just take the 2 screws out of right here, and the face comes off, interchange it with another feel. And we have the radial face that actually puts an instant roll on the ball. So we've taken the evolution of the MOI mallet, and we have really made it a super putter, not just a fitting golf club, but a real performing golf club.